For the lab exercise for Module 12, we have you look at some code that adds some of the report output options. Now there's a wide variety of output options. We're going to look at a couple things. Realize that in all the labs up until this point, we have often been putting in report output options that change the default report output. Let's go ahead and look at our Genero Studio, and what I've done for you here is I've gone through and I've added some code so we can just look at the commenting or look at the code that's already there, remove some of the comments and see how it can affect the output. The first series up here, I have my call report select device, and if I uncomment the first line, I'm sending it out to the report viewer. So if you do a call FGL report select device and then you specify SVG, it's going to go to the report viewer. If I want it to print as a PDF file, I just substitute in PDF. If I want it to print out to an image file, I do call FGL report select device and send it off to image. Finally, if I want to send it directly to a printer, I can do a call FGL report select device and specify printer. The other part of the lab exercise that I'm just going to show you briefly here is what if you want to send it out to what we call a multi-page output. Now, what is a multi-page output? At this point, I want to direct you to our Genero Studio documentation. And in the Genero Studio documentation, under Genero Report Writer, you can see that underneath the BDL program, we have a section called Changing Output Options. I would recommend that you read through this, and you can see a variety of things for changing your output options. You can see that you can change your page settings. Don't forget that you can also change those in the report definition itself. We're talking about the output device settings. You can see there's a whole series of output device settings. The one that we're going to be looking at right now is we're going to be looking at what's called that multiple page output. So let me scroll down to where I create multi-page ISO reports. You'll notice in here we have the FGL report select logical page mapping. You can set it to multi-page. We can also call the FGL report configure multi-page output. The page exponent, the first field, if we set it equal to 2, the actual number of pages is going to be calculated by multiplying the page exponent by 2. So if you set it to 2, you're really going to get 4 pages per physical page. The second value is the ISO page number, so 4 refers to an ISO A4 page size. And the third is whether or not it's going to be portrait or landscape. So true means it's portrait and false means it's landscape. Now that I've looked at the documentation, I understand what these settings are, I can say I want to call the FGL report select logical page mapping. I'm setting it to print out multi-page on a single physical page. And then I want to call FGL report configure multi-page output. And I'm going to have this print 4 pages to a physical page. So you're going to use an ISO page size of 3, and I want it in portrait format. Let me go ahead and save this. The report we're going to print out is our order list report. And now if I execute the application, what you can see is that each physical page now it has 4 of the report pages printed on it. So again, realize that there's a variety of output options that you could set up. I've just shown you a very few here. I would highly recommend you read through the documentation if you want to find out more about what your various output options are.